Good, I got it back to recording again. Okay. So we're gonna do this. Okay, so I'm resuming the share now. So you should see this Word document on your screen.
Right.
Good, okay. So what we're gonna do is, and what I did was I tried to put everything on 1 or 2 pages for each feature that we're gonna look at. And the first feature we're going to look at is we're going to be looking at changing font. Now, some of these things you maybe have already seen. And what I'm also going to do is I'm also going to try in as many instances to use this context menu, the the mini font toolbar and the context, because I'm trying to kind of force myself to use that. But I'm noticing with some of the features, as we come up on them, I'll tell you, you know what, Chris, it's just easier to go to the ribbon for this. And I'll mention that as we go along. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this control panel. Let's see, Control Alt Shift H. Okay, good, I got it. Hiding it so I can see this whole thing. Okay, to change the font, and I'm putting the page numbers in here, so in case you want to also follow with your book. And there are some things that I'm just gonna mention here, but especially with fonts, I used to learn quite a bit about fonts when I was doing my web page design. And what I found out is sometimes it's good to stick with 1 or 2 fonts, because if you start to get too many fonts going, then it gets to be a little too, visually it gets to be a little too busy for the reader. So I'm just going to give you a few little things that I've learned along the way as we go too. But anyway, serif fonts, they have short lines at the bottom, and the short lines, you know, like usually, let's see, I've got it in the, but what they're really, it's like the Times New Roman. Are you familiar with that font?
Yeah.
Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you. You select the text, you use the mini toolbar or home tab, or you can even click the Control Shift F. Okay. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you here. I'm going to select this, easy read it on the eyes. I'm going to try the Control Shift F. See, and it brings up our font dialog box. We can do it like this, or we can go up here.
That's what I usually do. Yeah.
And do that, and that's okay. Or you can, okay, I'm going to select it again. It's going to bring up that mini. And then when you right click on the text, after that mini toolbar comes up, you right click on the text, then you can come down here to font. Now, one thing I've noticed with this font, in some cases, you might see some things in here that you might not see on the ribbon, or sometimes there's things on the ribbon that you might not see in here.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm like you. I am more, let's see that. See, I don't see all the fonts in here, as it's not as clear to me. It's easier for me to use the ribbon. So I'm going to do the same as you. And what's nice about this, it gives us here Times New Roman right here at the top. So I'm going to change this and see how it has these little tails at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they call them serif fonts. Anything that's a sans serif font doesn't have those short lines.
Oh, okay.
And what seems a little odd to me is the default, they said, I think is this Calibri, and it's a sans serif. It doesn't have the little short lines at the bottom. Okay.
What, can you tell me the difference? I know that pops up all the time and it's
Mhm.
Calibri and Calibri Light. What's the difference? Do you know?
Yeah, the Calibri light. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one just this word without as the Calibri light. And see, when they say light, it means it's the anytime I've noticed when it says light, it's not as
It's thinner.
bold.
Okay.
See
That's
how
what I
it's more
thought, but
bold? Yeah.
okay.
So the font looks the same, but when you turn it into light, it actually does look different. But it actually is the same font. It's just not as bold.
Okay.
And then what I've noticed is sometimes the font will say it's a narrow. And what you'll notice is that yes, it is. When you look at it, the font is the same, but it squishes all the letters closer together. So sometimes you'll notice that when it says narrow too. And some of the fonts will even, in the font name, will say bold. And you'll notice they are, and you don't even have to apply a bold. You can actually apply a bold to a bold font,
Oh, I
and
see.
it'll make it a
Yeah,
little
I
bit
see
bolder.
one here.
Yeah. And we'll get into this. But one thing that I thought was interesting was the Control Shift F automatically brings up that dialog box. So I might start using that a little bit more often too. And you don't even have to select the top text to bring up the font dialog box. Okay, so next is changing the text size. Okay, we want to sometimes increase it for easier reading, decrease it to fit more text on our screen, which I do that all the time. Fonts are measured in points, and we could go into a lot more with the history of all this, but we're not. But I just want you to know whenever, okay, and I'm going to go up here. Right now, my text is at 36 points. See up here at the ribbon where I've got my little cursor?
Right.
Um, my mouse pointer there. Um, and I always wondered, and I'm kind of curious why Microsoft didn't make the default 12, because really a lot of papers, a lot of formal papers and such, you have to have the font at least at 12. But
Right.
Microsoft defaults it to 11.
I
And
noticed that.
we can actually go in and change that. And you can do that, in the backstage and in options. And at some point we'll go over that, okay? But I just
Okay.
want you to be aware of that. Okay, so the fonts are measured actually in points. And the reason that even came about was because when they used to do typesetting and such, um, they used to talk in terms of a pica. And since I never did really typesetting myself, I don't exactly know what a pica is. But all I know is that, when we look at 11, 12, 36, we're looking at points. And a point is a fraction of a pica. In desktop publishing, and that means once we became electronic, a point is actually 1/72nd of an inch.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So if we want a little background on it, 12 points is actually going to equal a pica. And I think that's why a lot of print and such is based on that 12 points. Okay. And it is a standard for reading. And
Okay.
the book even brought that up. Okay, so we're on page 119, 120. Okay, to change the font size, you can come up here. Okay, you can come up here on the home under font. You can bring up that. Let me see. Oops. Oh darn! What did I say that was?
Control.
Control. Oh, I did the Alt, so that's wrong. Okay, so Control Shift F. Okay, so here's the size again. You can do the control shift, you can, but you know, we're gonna want to select our text in order to, and I'm gonna select part of this. Okay, so, and then we can go to the font size there and change it back to that 12. But see, that's why I didn't want to put 12 on here. I wanted you to be able to really see what I'm doing here. Okay, so that's pretty simple, and you probably already used that quite a bit, okay?
Right.
But one thing that I think is really interesting, and I'm gonna just select increase here. There's a really quick way. You see this big A and this little a? There's a really quick way to increase it.
Oh,
And it does look like there's a control shift and then you use the caret and and you just go like that. So it's a real quick way. And a way to decrease the font, select it, and then just click on that decrease.
you know, this is a little off the subject, but I do this sometimes. I start typing without looking, and everything is capital. Is there any way to go back and make it all lowercase? Because I just always delete it and retype.
That's one of the features we're going to look at today.
Oh, yay.
And the reason I've never used that a whole lot is because I usually use that format painter, you know. And the
I
format.
thought that, oh, so that would change things from uppercase to lowercase too?
Mm-hmm,
Oh,
yeah.
I just thought it changed the font or the size. Okay.
Well, we can check
good.
it. We'll check it when we get to that. When we get to that feature today, we'll check that. Okay.
Okay.
Just remind me in case I forget. Okay, I'm just gonna undo these so that everything stays on the page that I wanted it to.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna look at, you know what, I'm going to fast forward. We're gonna come back to 3, but I'm going to fast forward. I started using my page down a little bit more. Okay, so.
Oh, yeah, there's that A, big A, little a next to each other that changes the case. Oh, perfect.
Wait, what are you talking about?
You know where you just showed me the capital A and the smaller a next to it where you can increase and decrease the size font?
Yes, and that's what we're going to
Now,
go over.
yeah,
And
what you're,
let me get to that point. Change
okay.
the text size. Okay, so these are the things in that drop down. See where it says sentence case, text case, lowercase, uppercase. Again, capitalize each word. And now, myself, I probably wouldn't ever use that toggle case, but it's there.
Well, what is that toggle case? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I need.
Well, actually, what you need is okay, so let's say this lowercase is what okay, you said it's an uppercase and you want it lowercase.
Well, no, usually what I end up doing is I start typing something and I don't look, and like the first letter is supposed to be capital.
Oh, okay, so you could use it in that case.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I need.
Yeah, and then it'll toggle it back to where you want it.
Yeah, because I didn't know like the caps was locked or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes the caps, if its caps are locked. But if you've already started typing in caps, then what you can come back up here to do is you can put it back down to lowercase. Or you can,
that's wonderful to
or if you
know.
were at a, let's say that you were at a sentence and you wanted it to actually start a sentence, then you can say sentence case. How come that didn't work?
I don't know.
There.
There.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's weird that it didn't work on the other one.
Yeah. Well, perfect. This is good to know.
Yeah. And what's funny is I never used this, and I'm going to be using it more often too. But okay, so let's say that you have this Okay, let's say you've got this all in uppercase. We come up here to our format painter. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work on that other thing either. Let's try it here. Oh, you're right, it doesn't work. See, I never noticed that before. So this is a really good feature in changing the
Yes.
text case. Yeah. Um, let's see. Um, and what's interesting too is we're going to also go over in how to make things a subscript. After I learned how to make it a subscript, I was able to make it look like that that case change button. So anyway, but we can also, let's see, we can also use that the mini toolbox. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see it readily available here though. Maybe we have to go into the font. See, that's what I'm saying. In this case, I think it's a lot easier to use the ribbon instead of having to go, you know, go in here and try and find it.
I agree.
The strike through is kind of good to know here. But see, small caps, all caps. Yeah, I think this one's going to be easier for you to use on the. See, it says check for all caps. See, so what I could have done was I could have gone in here, gone to the font, and clicked all caps. I could have done that to get all
Right.
caps there, but that's, to me, that's a little more cumbersome. Okay, so okay, so we just did change text. I'm going to go back up here because I want to make sure we don't miss anything. We're going to come back here to the, and I'm sure that you probably used the bold and italic and underline already.
Mm-hmm.
Have you used it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm just going to, okay, so actually we can just bold it here. And see, to tell you the truth, I don't even usually use that. I usually use Control B.
Mm.
And you can toggle it. Control B, Control B. You can Control B it and say, oh, I don't. And you come back and you say, I really didn't want that bolded. Then you can just select it again and hit Control B. That is the quickest way to do that. Okay.
Okay.
And I purposely left these so that I could show you. Now I just selected this. I can do a Control I, and
Mm-hmm.
it does it. I can, and you know, and while I have it selected, oops, I didn't mean to do that. While I have it selected, I can toggle Control I, Control I, Control I, Control I, Control I, okay? The same thing with underlining. Control U, Control U, Control U, Control U, okay? That's the way I always do it. I never go to my ribbon. I never go to the mini toolbar. I always use the shortcuts, okay?
Okay.
And hopefully I can help you find out how easy that is too. Okay, now the superscript and the subscript I haven't used a whole lot, but I thought, you know what? I'm really glad to know now exactly what it is. And what you'll be doing is you'll be assigning it to text. A lot of times you use it with numbers, figures, or if you want a symbol, if you want a number, figure, or symbol smaller than what your regular text is. And it's going to be above or below the baseline. One's going to be a superscript that's going to be above, and the other one's going to be a subscript, which is going to be below. Now, Janet probably uses it more with her math.
Yeah.
Myself, a lot of times what I'll do is, here, let's do this. Okay, so like it's the 12th.
Right.
And I want to put the TH what I'll do is I'll come up here and I can do this. Okay.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
But one thing that used to frustrate me is then after I put the 12th in there, anything else I typed was little. Okay.
Ah,
But now what you can do is you can go and do the X2 and it'll bring it back down again.
okay.
Oh, no,
That's
it
good to
won't.
know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What you have to do is you have to click that X2 again to get it back down. Okay. So to toggle it. And then what you can do is you can put, and see, even without selecting it, I can click this and get that TH in there. To get it back down, just click it again.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So then you don't get frustrated like I always used to.
Yeah, sometimes it seems like it did it on its own, and sometimes it didn't, and I was always like, how do,
Well,
and then it wouldn't match.
yeah, it does that sometimes if you're typing in a date. Let's try
Okay.
and see if that'll work. See? Yeah.
Okay.
But now we'll know if it stays there. Now we'll know we can just come up here and toggle it. Click it. See now you can see it's little.
Right.
Now it's big. So we just toggle it. Okay. Okay. And so the reason I put font group here is when the mini toolbar comes up, it's not here. You have to right click on it,
Oh,
and it's in that font group.
okay.
That's where that you'll see it. Do you see it? See now, this in this case to me, it's just so much easier just to use it on the
Yeah, the ribbon, yeah.
ribbon on the
Sure.
ribbon. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I kind of wanted to go over that because that's been a frustrating point for me, and it's going to help me, and I'm sure now I'm going over with you, it's going to help you too. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to bring this back up because I kind of want this subscript. Okay, and I want to delete it. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to do a Control S right now because I want to make sure that all my changes got saved. Okay. So changing the text case, let's see, we already did that, didn't we? Yeah. Yep, we already went through that. And it's going to be here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so you can use that mini toolbar, but you're not going to have quite as many options like you do there. And that's what I've noticed sometimes, that mini toolbar is mini. You don't have quite as many options like you do on the ribbon.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to get this down to the next page. Okay, I'm going to do a Control S because I want to make sure. Okay, so changing the text color. I have to tell you this because it was a little funny. I got over to Google Docs and I'm like, how do I change the text color here? I finally had to Google it and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I couldn't. That icon just didn't make any sense to me. But when we get over to Google Docs, I'll show you what my problem was. But anyway, here, I'm sure you do this probably all the time. Am I
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So anyway, but one thing I just want to point out to you, and I left this red on purpose because when you go to change this, when you click automatic, usually it's always black. It'll help you put it back to black. So I'm going to put it to automatic and it changes it back to black. And then it gives you a preview of what it's going to look like. But see now, in this case, the toolbar kind of covers it up.
Yeah.
In the mini toolbar, well, see now, if I just bring the mini toolbar up and not the context, probably going to be able to see it better. Let's see, okay, select it. So you can see the rata maybe a little bit better. But you might be able to kind of move that little mini toolbar over. Let's see. That'll let me. Oh, no, I'm going to do Control Z and it got me right back. Okay. Okay, so let's kind of go into the next one on this one. Apply text effects. Why do we even want to do that? It'll help draw the eye to the text. And what you're going to be doing, we're going to be learning is you can apply outlines, shadows, reflections, glow, or word art. But just like I told you with doing web pages, you want to apply these sparingly. And the book is saying do it more with headlines and titles, because you want to be people to be able to read your text a little bit more easily. I will have to say though, this is what it helped me with. The button for the text effects, I was actually able to put a text effect on this A, so it looked like the text effects in the ribbon. I'm like, oh, I'm really glad I learned this right now. Now I can put this, yeah. So that was I thought that a really good way to use it. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here, and how did I do that? Okay, let's put an A right next to it. It's a regular A. Now
Okay.
it's gonna do the text effects. Okay, but here, let me see if I can even put it back. Okay, now this one's gonna have a shadow on it. This one's gonna actually put it back to the A that it was. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see using this very often.
Yeah, like I said, it helped me so that you could see exactly what that text effects button looks like. And so what I did was I basically applied this text effects to it right here. That's what I did. Okay. I'm gonna do a Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, and it puts it back. See, did you see how quickly I undid everything right there?
Yeah, yeah.
And if I wanted to go back and say, oh, I didn't want to undo it, Control Y, Control Y, Control Y, Control Y. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Okay. Okay, apply the font style set. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about font styles, because font style, it makes a lot of sense to me because I used font styles in doing web pages. And doing web pages, what you do is in the background, and nobody sees this except for a web page designer, you set up what they call a font style sheet. And sometimes they just call them style sheets. And what it was actually a font style sheet. And what you did was you programmed your website so that and you applied that style sheet, that font style sheet, to every web page, so that all of your fonts and styles on every web page look the same. So every time a person clicked to another page, your website had that very same feel, the very same look on every web page. But you didn't have to go in on every web page and change the font to this, change the font to that, because the style was on a style sheet and you just applied it to that page. Okay. So what I'm saying with the style is I like to think of styles as presets. And like when you come up here and do the page heading here, that there's a preset already put in there. Okay. Let's just go ahead and do this. Font style sets enhance the open type fonts. Now, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what open type fonts are, because Adobe and Microsoft got together and they said, we're going to make these standard open type fonts so that if you put this font on a Word document and I opened it up on my Apple, it would look the same. Okay. So basically what you're saying is, and here I'm using that verbiage again, cross-platform. The open type fonts will look the same on every platform. And see, that was when I used to do web page design. I used to put a font out there on a web page, not realizing that maybe someone would open it up on their Apple computer, and that font was not in their Apple computer. So what I saw on my PC, I'm like, oh, this looks really pretty on my web page. And then someone, I'd realize that, oh my gosh, it doesn't look the same on every platform. Well, these open type fonts do, okay? And anytime you see something that says open type font, it's OTF, and the true type font is going to be TTF. Okay, so true type fonts you used to hear about a lot, kind of in the olden days. The open type fonts are a little bit newer. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail on all this, but what we're going to do is you're going to find it in under the text effects. So I put an example here. Okay. And what I did was I said, let's come down here. Okay, I'm going to use this word, Gabriola, as an example, because what I did was I did happy holidays, and we're going to find that, here it is, Gabriola. It's real little, you can barely see it there. See how it is,
Yeah.
Gabriola? That's what Gabriola looks like. It's an open type font. And you want to use an open type font in order to get these stylistic sets to apply. Now I'm going to come back up here. The stylistic sets are at the very bottom here. Okay, and I'm going to click on that, and it shows me all the stylistic sets that I can use. Okay, I'm going to use a real fancy one here at the very bottom. And that's how I got my happy holidays to look really fancy. And I thought you might like that, because I think sometimes you've made cards before. And I would be, I'd be a little careful in using these stylistic sets, only because I'd wonder if somebody opened them up on their Apple computer or something. Now, they're telling me with these open types now, it should work. But I would.
Okay. How do you know if it's an open type or what was the other one?
Oh, the open type or a true type font?
Yeah, how would you know?
Okay, because when you come and you hover over this, I thought it told me if it was a true type or not. That is a good question. Open type and true type. I think I need to go in a little bit more detail and come back, and we need to come back and talk about this some more, because that's a good question.
Well, I have another question.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Well, I just tried to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have this little black triangle next to it, and I can't get rid of it. Oh, well, wait, I guess if I delete everything, it goes away. What would that little black triangle be? Okay, and yeah. What am I doing here?
You want to share your screen and show it to me?
No, it's on my other computer.
Oh, it's on your other computer.
And then, okay, so then I think I also, all right, how do I clear all the formatting? Was
Um,
there a shortcut for that?
yeah. I think something tells me we went over that before. Usually what I do is I just do Control Z, Control Z, Control Z until I get back to where I want to. That's usually what I do. But I know there's a way to clear formatting too.
Why are all those things now in yellow?
What's yellow?
Um, oh, wait a minute. I think I did the shadow.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it wasn't a shadow. I don't know what I did. No, I guess does it point to what I've done? I guess it does. No glow. Let me go. No, that's not
Do you
it.
see that? I just did the Happy Holidays in kind of a yellow. Is that
And
what
how
you?
do you get rid of it then?
Well, what I do is I just do Control Z. Goes
I
back.
keep doing Control Z and it's not going away. Maybe I've done it so. Oh, wait, now. Yeah, after about 10 Control Z. Okay. All
And
right, now what was
what you can do in that instance too is you can bring up your clipboard, Control
Oh,
CC,
oh,
and
oh.
then you
Okay.
can, click, 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 and delete all those too in your clipboard. So that's another way to do it. Let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and do this, and then I'm going
Okay.
to put a shadow on there, and then, okay, then I'm going to open up my clipboard real quick, see. Oh, it says preview is not available. That's weird. Oh, because I wasn't copying or pasting.
Right.
Okay. But it seems to me, let's see, let me see if there's a, well, I'm gonna Google it.
Oh, I know.
Can you see I'm going out and Googling it. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. On the edit menu, click clear and then clear. Okay, clear. So we have to go to, now I see right now I just did an alt tab. See how quick I go back and forth? Alt tab,
Mm-hmm.
alt tab. Okay, so select text you want to, it's on the edit menu. So
Where's the edit menu?
it's not,
Editor.
well, remember that we had edit and editing that one time? And let's see, review.
And, so this
That's what I don't like about the,
I got some pepper.
okay, let's see.
Now we're gonna put
And they're saying, okay, so,
I like my
oh, here it is, here it is. Actually, what you do is, yes, yes, yes. See this right here? It's on the same home font. And then this should be the clear all formatting. And it looks
Oh,
like,
oh,
and it looks like an erase button. And she does go over this in the book. It looks like an erase button. You just click that. Of course, that's going to go take it all the way back to your, to what it was originally. And then you can start, I wonder if I hit G, if it would, oh, Let's see. Yeah. See, I hit G in this drop down, so I didn't have to scroll down there, and it brought this Gabriola right back up.
Oh,
Let me show
good to
you.
know.
Yeah. Okay, so I did a drop down. I'm hitting just the letter G to go to it quickly. And there it brought it up. Recently used fonts. Yep. And then I
Okay,
want to put it.
where was that clear formatting again?
It's like this little erase button right there.
Oh, okay.
It looks like an A with an eraser
Okay.
on it. Yeah.
Okay, I see it now.
And it's funny because I was just reading about that. I can't say I use it a whole lot because I usually see. I don't like it to go back to this where I have to now put the I have to put that font back on there. I've got to go back here and do a 36. You know, where I could have just done Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, and that would just be an undo, 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 and it takes me back right to where I was. That's how I usually do it, Chris. I just think it's quicker that way. And you can't use the clipboard because the clipboard's more with copy and paste.
Okay.
Clipboard's not really a history. But I wonder, I'm gonna look up and see if there is a history. Sometimes when I used to use Photoshop, I could always go back into the history no matter what I did. I'll see if I can look that up too. Okay, it looks like an eraser. Okay, so we got through that. All right, so I pretty much went through everything here. Next week, I thought we'll look at applying highlight. Actually, applying highlight to a text is pretty easy. You just select it and then hit this highlighter. You can make it
Yeah, I know
whatever
how to do
color you
that.
want. Okay, so you know how to do that. Okay, and I think we learned like the strike through. The strike through, sometimes I can't always find it on the ribbon. And I tend to go ahead and go into the context menu to do the strike through. And I usually go to the font and then I do the strike through there. That's usually how I do it. That is, okay, and so copy text formatting. We already know how to do that. We hit the paint. We already know how to do that, and then you just go over whatever you want to change it to. So let's say that let's just change this to 22. We want to get that back, so we just click on that format paint, select the text, format painter, and then go over it. And it comes right back. Okay.
Yeah, that's been an awesome feature to use. I love
Isn't that
that.
awesome? I use that all the time. Remove text formatting. That's what we that was what I was going to do next week, but we've already learned it. So it's clear all formatting and it takes it all back.
Yeah.
It even took the number off. See, I guess that's why I don't use that a whole lot. Because I'm going to do Control Z. Control Z brought it all back. Okay. Set default font for all new documents. Okay, so let's do that. It's in the book. And then we can go to chapter 6 next week. Yeah, some of these things in chapter 5 I thought you already know, but there was enough things I felt like we really learned, So here I'm just gonna quickly go to chapter 5. We're gonna go to the set default font. And I think what I might do is I might go ahead and set mine to 12 because
I'd like to do that too. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. I'm on page, it's either going to be 129 or 130 on your book.
Yeah, 130.
130, okay. So she said begins with a default word font, which is usually Calibri size 11. Calibri size 11 is usually what the Calibri 11 is default. Okay, click the Home tab and the normal style. I'm I'm just going to put some, okay, set default. Okay, so what she said was, in the home tab, click the normal style, which we've got already there. And then she said, click modify.
Okay.
Then use for new docs and click select font
So
size.
left click or right click.
Yeah, there we go. And then you click modify.
Oh, and I see. You can change it to 12.
And we can even change the font here if I want to. I don't know. I kind of like the Calibri, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, so you basically, I thought you had to go back into the, this is actually easier. See, she didn't say to right click it there, but you do. Oh yeah, she did. She said right click the normal style, yeah. Right click it, hit modify, and that's going to change the default for you. I have a feeling you might be able to do that even with your styles. Yep. So you can even,
No, it didn't work for me.
what didn't work?
I changed it to 12, but when I went to a new document, it popped up as 11 again.
Well, that's interesting.
So I changed it to 12.
Yeah.
It says automatic. Add to the styles gallery only to this document. New documents based on this template at the bottom. Does that have anything to do with it?
It says changing default font does not affect documents you have already created.
But do you see at the bottom after you left click there where it says only in this document or new documents based on this template? Did you, well, click on yours and come back and see, did yours stay 12?
Oh, you want me to open up? Now I'm going to hit Control N because that'll also open up a new document, okay?
Okay. See, yours is 11 too.
Oh, it is.
Why is that?
That's not good.
I'm going to click new documents based on this template and see what happens.
I have a feeling that it'll do it there.
Oh yeah, it did. Now it goes to 12, it stays at 12.
I wonder if we need to go back into our options here to really get it to see display, proofing, save, language, use advanced.
Well, I think when I oh wait, let's see. When I clicked on that new documents based on this template, I think that may have done it.
Yeah, but you know what? We should be able to get a new document to come up the way we want it.
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah. Well, I think it will. Let's see. Let's try this again. Yeah, it's staying at 12 for me.
Only with the template?
Yeah.
Well, I want to do it. How to change the default font for new documents in Word. Font dialog box. Select the font size you want. Oh, we have to set it as default. So, second one, this document only, all documents based on normal.
Well, how do you get
Template.
to that default?
Select OK twice. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
How do you get to default?
Okay, go to the home and then select the font dialog box launcher. Okay, so I'm gonna do my Alt Tab. Okay, so see, I like to go back and forth here. Okay, select the font dialog box launcher.
What is that?
Okay, the launcher should be like right here, that little thing right there.
Okay. And I've got it on 12.
Okay, and then select the 5, this is what you want. Okay, I've got it on
Set as
12
default.
too.
Oh, set as default. There it is. Okay. Then it says all. This document only, or all documents.
Okay. Oh, set as default. Yeah, set as default. All document based on normal template. Let's try it that way and see if that works. Now, Control N. See, it still has. You know what I wonder?
Mine is going to 12,
Oh, yours went to 12?
but that may be because I did it on that other
Oh,
instead with that modify box.
oh, but I still have it. All documents based. Oh, you know what I did? I didn't
What?
do. You have to click OK twice. So you have to click OK.
Really?
Oh, wait. Did it when I said OK, it automatically. Huh. That's interesting.
Well, I don't know what I did, but I got it, so I'm happy.
Do you want the default? Okay. All right. So anyway, maybe I do have to set up some sort of template. Oh, save changes to this file. No, I don't want to save it. Oh, you know what? Maybe I do need to save this. Maybe that's a problem. Default.
I didn't save one though.
Does yours have a name though? Because this one didn't have a name.
No, I mean, I didn't save it. So no, it doesn't have a name because I didn't save anything. When it said save your changes, I said don't save.
Interesting. Now I wonder if I do control.
Well,
There.
it says 12.
Yeah.
I think it's working.
See, the other one, I had to actually save it with a name.
Oh.
That's what I had to do. That's interesting. So anyway, what we should do is, and this is what I do sometimes. This will become part of our. Okay, and see this document only. Okay, and then what I have to do here too is give the document a name. Yours might have already had a name though.
I don't know. That's weird.
So that's what I do a lot of times, Chris, when I learn new things like that. And sometimes I'll put it in my OneNote, and I'll remember that I put it in OneNote too. Well, that's kind of cool because now this one has Arial. I wonder if what's going to happen if I open up. Oh, good. It does go to 12, and it did go ahead and leave it as. There are times when I've liked things to be defaulted to Arial, but I don't know. I kind of like this Calibri. So anyway, all right. So we pretty much have finished chapter 5. Now, let's see. I have down here. Okay. And we've already figured out how to clear the formatting, so that's already done. We're basically using the eraser tool up there. I'm going to this week look a little bit more on OpenType and TrueType fonts because I think that there might be some really good stuff learning a little bit more about those. And then how to know. Yeah. To know which is which. And then I'm also going to see if there's like a place where we can find the history of all of our changes. Okay, so do you have any more things that we need to go over, you think, for any of these?
No, I think I pretty much got what I think I'll use.
Okay, so I'm going to save this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go out to Google Sheets right now. Now, what I
Okay.
found out is if I want to get back to this backstage, I can just hit my back arrow. And it brings me up. I call this the backstage in Docs. I don't really call it that though, but it's kind of similar, I feel like, to Word in some ways. And we can, this is what I was talking about, the open file picker. When you first come into Docs and you want to upload, and I'm using that word, we want to upload a document from Word, we can use this open file picker, okay? But
Okay.
I already opened up, let's see. But let's say, okay, so this is what it looks like when you open up the open file picker. And I want to upload, yeah, so I do have to come over here to upload. It defaults to my drive.
Right.
And my drive is on Google, but I want to upload it from Windows. And, you know, I showed in that other video how we can actually put this screen over to the left. I can bring up my File Explorer and I can put it over to the right. Oops. And then I can drag and drop things. And usually what I do is I like to come down here to my PC and I like to come into Documents. And then I go into, let's see, usually I want to use Word class. Actually, let's just do it this way. Okay. Okay, so chapter 5, editing text. That's what we're working on right now. And I'm just going to drag it over here. Okay. It's uploading it. So I'm going to get rid of this and bring my Word document over. I don't know if you noticed this, but you can always change the name of your file real easy in Google Docs. It's right up here. Just go and change the name of your file. Not quite as easy in Word. So basically, yeah, to change the font, we've got this. I don't know that there is really a mini toolbar in Google Docs. Have you found a mini toolbar in Google Docs? I think you just basically use the ribbon.
Yeah, I've just used the ribbon. I mean, there,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
we
it's
can.
quick, you get something, but it's not a mini toolbar.
Okay. Change the text size. Let's see.
So,
You can change the text size here. Let's see. What's this?
how would we do that permanently in here? Like we did?
Oh, as far as a default?
Yeah.
Oh, that's if you're starting a new document.
Right, but if we wanted it to always be 12 like we just did on Word, how could we set that up?
Let's see.
Might have to Google it, huh?
Yeah. Oops. Let's see. I want to delete. Okay. In. Oh, come on. Google Docs. Type some text and change the font size and color to look the way you want your default text to. Select the text you just typed. From Docs menu, choose Format, Paragraph Styles, Update Normal Text to match. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Oh, darn it. I didn't need to do that.
Under normal text to match. Apply normal, update normal text.
Okay, so, you know, I really like it to be at a 12, but I'm thinking maybe if I might want to change it to Calibri. So it says, open the Google Doc, type some text, and change the font size color to look that you want. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, so I want it to Calibri, so it's where I want it, but I want this to be 12.
Right.
Okay. And okay, from the docs menu, choose format.
Okay.
Okay, so that's format up here. Paragraph styles,
Okay.
normal text, update normal text to match.
Okay.
See?
All right. Now let's see if that worked.
Mm-hmm. And then you probably have to make sure it saves. Okay, so then file, new, document.
No, it didn't save on mine. Nor yours either.
Hmm.
Hmm.
We seem to be having trouble with that, even with the Word document, don't we?
Well, I got my Word one to save, but
Yeah, I got my Word one to save finally too.
okay, Cavale 12. Formats, paragraph styles, normal text. Well, I did hit apply normal text to match,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it's saved. Because when I just went back, it wasn't checked.
Maybe we have to wait a little bit for the document to save, because Google automatically saves. We can't really save ourselves, you know? Say, oh, we have to wait on you. Google Docs. Let's see here. So, okay, so.
Update normal text to match.
Choose format. So we got format there. Paragraphs. It seems like there's an awful lot you have to kind of go through to this, but update normal text to match. Well, you know what? I'm going to let this sit for a little bit here, and I'm going to go
Okay.
to our Excel because I want to make sure that I get some things in on Excel here too. Okay. So we'll let it kind of cook there on the back burner.
Okay.
Then I'll check it. Okay. And then we'll quickly kind of go through and make sure we know where everything is at on, you know, especially like, well, I did that one day, go ahead and Google it where the changing the text color. I thought I'm too frustrated. I know this is too simple. Okay. So anyway, you can see the Excel sheet here, correct?
Yes.
Did you want to do this with me or no?
What do you mean?
Did you want to open
Should
up
I?
an Excel?
Sure. Okay.
And you might want to bring up, do you already have an Excel sheet that you can kind of practice on that already has some formulas on there?
No, not really.
Okay, well, I'm just going to show you this. Maybe, I don't know, I should have maybe sent it to you and said, hey, we're going to practice on this sheet. But anyway, all you do is you go to formulas and see right over here under formula auditing. I mean, how many times are we going to go under formula auditing? Well, we are in this case. Formula auditing is the group, and then show formulas is the command. It looks like there's even a shortcut, a control, and then the asterisk. apostrophe, control apostrophe. I'm going to try that, but here, show all formulas. Look, see, this is where I put all the formulas in. And I can actually delete all the formulas here if I don't like them. Okay, I just selected them. I'm hitting my delete button on my keyboard and they're all gone. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave it that way because I'm going to show you. Now we're going to go back. And all my, well, okay, well, let's say I'm going to do Control Z. And I brought all my formulas back. Okay. But I say, you know what? I want to give you a demonstration here of how I got those formulas. This here is the total of this row. Okay. This here is the total of this column.
Right.
Okay. So I'm gonna let's see. Oh, darn it. I'm gonna show these formulas. I'm gonna delete them all. I'm gonna show you now how I got it. You know, I'll tell you what, Chris, it's really kind of funny sometimes, especially if you get a template that already has all these formulas on it, and you show it, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize they had all these formulas. Yeah. But anyway, so what we're going to do, this is something that you always have to know is as soon as you begin a formula, you begin it with an equal sign. Okay. That's if you're going to type the formula in yourself. And I'm going to do that in a little bit, but I'm not going to do that right now.
Wait,
Right now,
are you starting it with an equal sign only because you're adding things together here? Or they always start with an equal sign?
a formula always starts with an equal sign.
No matter what you're doing. Okay.
No matter what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm going to show you because I'm not the mathematical person, and I'm thinking maybe I might bring Janet in as a special guest. But I had a programmer sit down with me one time. I thought, you know what, this is all I need to know. Show me this, this, and this, and that's all I need to know. But anyway, okay. So I'm going to total up this row here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select. Let me think. How did I do this now? I'm going to select. Okay. I'm going to select all three of these. And what I like to usually do is, I see this up in the left-hand corner. I just hit that and it automatically puts the sum.
Oh.
Okay. So you just select what you want to add together, hit the auto sum, it automatically does it. Word knows that since I selected this row, that I want the auto sum to come at the end of the row. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to do the next row. Auto sum. Next row. Auto sum. Next row.
That's easy.
Very easy. I love it. And the other day I found there was a quicker way to even do this, but I can't remember what it was. So when I find it, I'll show you. Okay, so we're going to show the formulas. I didn't have to type anything in there. But you notice how all of these begin with an equal sign. Okay?
And it's putting in the cell numbers, letters
Yeah.
and numbers. Okay.
And I'm going to show you now. Now Excel doesn't like it for me to go like this and say auto sum. It didn't like that for some reason. I think it's because it's already got all these formulas in there. Okay. If I didn't have formulas in there, and I'm going to show you here, I want to get out of that. It's gonna do weird stuff on me now. Come on. But see, the formula is showing up here too, and I'm going to delete it. And we're going to just redo this one. There it is again. Now, if I'm doing a horizontal, there's no formulas in there. Auto sum, and it puts it at the bottom of the column. Okay. Show formulas. There's all my formulas. Did I have to really do anything? Not really, because I had Excel do it for me. It's that easy with some. You shouldn't have
But
you shouldn't have to type in. Now we are going to have to type it in down here. And I'm going to
okay,
show you something down here. We're going to type an equal sign. S-U-M. Now here's all the functions. Okay. I'm going to select the sum. Okay. Now I'm going to put a open parenthesis. As soon as I put the open parenthesis, it shows me, Linda, this is what you need to do. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of these. And then I'm going to close it. Okay. And I'm asking it to sum everything in that column. Okay. And I'm going to hit enter. So now,
so wait, did you put a parenthesis at the end then?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm going to show all formulas. There's what my formula look like.
So, okay, wait, go back. So you put in equal. How did the word sum get there?
You can type in some, and as you're, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back. We're going to do that again. Always equal, always.
Right.
S-U-M. These are all the things that I can choose from.
So once you start typing something, it pops up. Okay.
And I can choose it here. I don't have to, but I'm going to just go
Right.
ahead and I'm going to say, okay. Then you have to type an open
The
parenthesis.
parenthesis.
And what I could do, I could come over here and I could come over here. Well, just a second. Select these two and then put a closed parenthesis and then hit enter. And it just added up what I had over here.
Okay.
But I didn't want that. Okay, it doesn't like something that I did. I could go and tell it to include other cells. Okay, but I don't, well, and then I'd have to go in. But see, your formula always comes up here in the little formula box too, just so you know. You'll see it down here, but you'll see it up there too. And you know, and if you don't do show formulas, okay, see, I can click and I can see each formula in each box.
Okay.
But if I want to see all the formulas, see what the box that I'm on right there shows that formula.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm going to total this whole row up. Equal, sum, open parenthesis, and I'm going to just go ahead and select all this so I don't have to type all that in. And see it, and by putting that, it puts that little colon in there to let the computer know that I'm selecting everything within that range. I'm telling it that there's a range. And then I hit enter. Now, if I don't hit enter, look what happens. Oh, it worked. Okay. Sometimes if I hadn't put that open parenthesis in there, let's take that open parenthesis out. And I click over here, it thinks that, well, see, of course it's making me a liar. But sometimes you'll get really frustrated, Chris, because it'll try to include, oh, you know what, I think what it is it's looking for a number. So if I go like this, and maybe if I click over here, sometimes it won't close it for me, and it'll start, and I'll accidentally click on another cell, and it's like, oh, you want to add that one too? And I'm like, no, I don't want to add that one too.
Right.
So sometimes I just kind of do a Control Z and start over, but it's being real nice to me today, saying, you know what, Linda, I'm not going to let you make that mistake. So, but anyway, so again, we don't have any formulas in there. We can hit the auto sum. Oh, come on. course, it's making me a liar now. Oh, because it already was there. Okay. Let's get rid of that. That's why it wasn't doing it, because it was already there.
Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah. Mhm. And then you just hit auto sum, and there it is. And you know, I can't tell you. I mean, what I'm showing you right now here is people do a lot, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then here you're going to sum up this whole. There you go. There you go. Look how simple that was.
Well, the only time I do this, and Don did it for me, but next year, hopefully I could do it, is we keep attendance,
Oh,
you
attendance.
know, for church each
Mhm.
Sunday. And then we know by the end of the
Mhm.
month how many people attended, or so we
Mhm.
can compare from month to month or year or whatever.
You know,
So,
I had told you the other day too that you could do like if you had a whole bunch of employees, you could put a 1
mhm.
in there. Oops. Oh, this is another thing I want to show you while I'm on here too. Now, in this case, it's working really well. It's going ahead and putting a bunch of 1s in there for me. And see this here, this little thing here, you just drag it down and it puts all those 1s in there for you.
Oh,
Okay. And then what you can do is you come up here and auto sum it, tells you that I put in 20. And that's how you can figure out how many employees you had. You know, you insert a column and then just do that. 1 for each person, and then you know you've got 20 people there.
okay. Show me that again, because I'm trying to. Oh, there. I just got it. I guess I just didn't catch it.
Mhm.
Okay.
But you know, I was watching a guy from Microsoft on a video the other day, and I think that I think there might be a function that we might be able to use instead of adding this. We might be able to just like, let's say there's people's names in a column. I think you might be able to just highlight their names and come up with the 20 at the bottom of their names.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of, I've never done that before, so.
It's a
But
count.
oh, is it called count?
Well, you can do count and then.
See, I need to have our special presenter come in, and she's going to show us.
Where does it say count?
Okay, so yeah, here I'll show you. You remember how we found that sum? I'm just going to
You can say a conditional if name equals blah blah blah, and then just say, and you can have a count. Yeah, but anyway, don't worry about it.
I'm gonna have Janet do the count with me. But I was watching that guy from Microsoft, and I think that was what he was doing too. Now, this is how you find the count. Sometimes you can do that equal. I start putting in count, and it brought count up here for me as a function. See, and I double click on it. When you double click on it, it automatically puts that function for you, and it automatically puts that open parenthesis in for you. So that's what we could do even with sum.
Wait, do that again, because
I'm going to do it with sum because we're familiar with sum. We're not going to. Okay, we're going to. See, that's where I get in trouble.
maybe because mine didn't have anything in it. Maybe that was it. Okay.
We're gonna get rid of this one here. Remember how I did the equal sign here, and I did the SUM. Well, if I would have double clicked on the SUM, double clicked on it, it automatically puts that open parenthesis in for me. And it's the same thing if we did the count. I'm going to do the count for you again. See, I double click on it. It automatically brings up all the functions I can use with that COUN in there. Count, and it automatically puts the open parenthesis in for me. But we're going to go back to sum. And then what I did was, so all I have to do is select the numbers that I want it to sum, put the put the closed parenthesis in, and hit enter. And we're going to be able to do that with count, but we'll investigate that this week. Like I said, I didn't want to show you everything at once so that we don't get. Okay, so in this over here, I did the same thing. Auto sum. There's the sum for that column. So we summed the rows to get 12. We summed this row, and the way we did that. And that was a biggie for me. I'm gonna subtract, I'm gonna delete all that. Since I've already got this sum D5, see that little square there?
Mhm.
I just pull it down and it automatically puts all those formulas in for me. That's another big shortcut. Oh, I'll have to get a little bit later. Oh, gee,
Do you want me to put it in the refrigerator?
no, just go ahead and put it out.
Okay, it's got all the lamb in there.
Perfect, okay.
Tell her hi, Linda.
Yeah, Janet just said hi.
Hi.
So-
She making you lunch?
Yeah, somebody gave us some lamb.
Oh, nice.
She goes, you want to put in the refrigerator? And I said, no, we'll probably be done in about 15 minutes here. But anyway, so the biggest thing I wanted to show you with shortcuts was being able to do the auto sum, puts that 12 in there. And then the drag, it sums everything up for us. So we don't even have to go in and do an auto sum here because it automatically does it for us. See, summed it, summed it, summed it. But now I wanted to show you this because I wanted to show you if you do have to type it in there, then Excel restarts it for you and it shows you, and you've got to put that closed parentheses in there. And then again, we can just get a range there. They do call those a range of cells. But then make sure that if I don't hit enter there, well, sometimes if I don't hit enter, it'll think that I want to add something else to it.
Right.
So, but anyway, so those were the biggies that I wanted to show you there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and I want to also show you with Janet here. I'm gonna. I don't know if I can do it with one with the formula. We'll see though. Janet showed me how. Okay, I'm gonna hit Control. I usually hit Control C here, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you. I'm copying it. Okay. Of course, in Excel it's easy to see. I'm gonna do a Control Z. Control Z. Not letting me do that. Okay, but anyway, I copied this. Control C. And let's say that I don't really want it in a column. I want it in a row.
Excuse me.
I want it in a row.
Okay.
I want 1, 2, 3, 6 in a row. Okay, so I copied this and then I selected I selected everything in this column and I'm going to put it in these rows up here, or this one row. Okay, so what I do is I go to Paste Special. And see right down here at the bottom, it says Transpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to click that and then just click OK. And then look what it did for me. Took everything here and then put it up here for you.
That's good to know.
I thought so too. And Janet just learned it the other day. So, you know, I just want to let you know, but she said it helped me so much. And at first when she told me, she goes, oh, just go in and Paste Special. I'm like, well, where is the transpose? Well, it's in that little checkbox. Mm-hmm. All right, so I got a lot. I'm gonna go back to my PowerPoint. Okay, so I want to go back here to what I had said we were going to try and get done today. Because so we looked at this. So I hope that diagram really helped you with the visual.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with the Google servers and OneDrive and then clouds. Okay, so we went over that. Formatting text, we did it in Word. We didn't really do it in the last 10 minutes. We'll go back over to our Google Docs and see how far we can get over that. So we did get through all of Chapter 5 today. That's what I wanted to do. We got through a little bit on the formulas, okay? Next week, I want to make sure that we go over printing, because I'm going to show you something. Let's see, it's in view. Here's the page break preview. Okay. What's going to happen if we print this? It's going to put this on a second page.
Okay.
Because this says here there's a break. In order to
Right.
get rid of that, all I have to do is go like this and pull it over. Gets rid of that and puts it on one page.
Okay.
If I went like this, and this used to happen to me a lot, you print it out and you're like, what happened to this column?
Right.
Well, you go into the page break preview and you realize you have to pull it over.
Okay. That's good to know too.
It's really good to know. Now, what we are always looking at is we're looking at normal. Okay, so let's say I put it in here. And I did I'm going to do Control P because that's how I usually like to do my. Okay, see, and it shows me a preview there. Shows me that, and I'm like, what happened to that other column? Ugh. You go back over here, you pull it over. But see now, if you're in normal view, you're not going to see that. You're like, what happened to this column?
Right.
You've got it, and it's under the View tab. Workbook Views is the group. There, you got to pull it over there. I'm kind of showing you a few things. We might go over this. I'm thinking a little bit more. Then you can put it back to normal. Control P. Going back in here. There's my columns. Okay. So I don't know how often you have to really print them out, but
Okay, but it's good to know. Yeah.
that came up at work all the time. And you don't really, it doesn't really happen in Word because you don't have these page breaks. Word automatically has page breaks.
Okay.
And another thing, I'm going to put it down here that I can show you is you can have a header on your screen, and let's say you have like 1,000 rows, and you want to print, but you want to have that header print at the top of every page. So now that I've just showed you about these page breaks, I'm going to show you how to get a column. I'm sorry, a row. How you can get a row to print at the top of every page. Because, you know, if you have like, let's say if you start to get to maybe 50 employees, and you don't have a header at the top of every page, you're like, oh my gosh, now I have to go back to page 1 to figure out what was in this column and what was in that column, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, but is there anything else that you would like to go over?
Not at the moment that I can think of. I've got quite a bit to
Digest
practice.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did tell it to record again, so this should be on a recording. Okay. So anyway, let's see. And if you want me to, I can, if this has saved this doc, I can share it with you. And if you want to go and just practice and find out what's happening, or if you want me to, I mean, in this last 5 minutes, we'll see as far as how far we can get and figure out what's what on Google. Let's do that. We'll see how far we can get. Okay, so we already went over change the text size. We saw that right there. Okay. Okay, you know, Word gave that that little big A, little a, but I don't see that big A, little a here. Do you? Where you can just really quickly change the. So I'm going to put this in red, and I did figure this out that this was the text color. I'm going to put this in red. This will be something we can look at next week. I'll see if I can find that. Okay, bold. I'm just kind of curious if all the I'm going to do a control B because we can see it right up here. Does it say? Yeah, it does. Control B works here. Control I, that works. Control U, that works. Okay, so these shortcuts all work here in Google Docs, okay? But those are so evident there, I don't really feel like we need to go over them. Superscript, okay, so remember how that superscript was so nice and easy with the X2 or the X2 commands.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see an X2?
No.
So that's another thing I'm going to put down. We're going to go over next week. I think that will be kind of good to know, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay, what about the change the text case? I think that would be good to know too.
Yeah, how to do that permanently. Oh, no, that's
No,
not the same. Yeah. Yeah, that would be good to know because I was thinking, I really like that, but that was in Word and I'm using Google Docs more often.
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
well, I wonder if this is it for this one thing. Let's see. Let's see here. No, never mind.
Well, we'll figure that out. And if you want to even Google it this week, okay, we already, the check text color, I for some reason, and if I would have just hovered over it, I would have found it.
Yeah, I
there-
know how to do
For
that.
that, okay,
I've
that's
done
no big
that.
deal, okay. Apply text effects. Is that something that you want me to look into there, or?
If you think you'd use it, yeah, but I don't think I ever would.
Okay, so apply the font style. Now we've done this before with the font style. Okay, so let's see. If I remember right, the font styles are right under here where we can find all the font styles. Okay, so here's another one. At the very bottom, you have those options. Save as my default styles, use my default
Oh.
styles, reset styles. So if you want me to, we can go over that a little bit more next week.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to look at the, I need to still look at those two, knowing which one's the open font styles. Applying a highlighter, I think we've,
Oh, I got it to save. I don't know what I did, but I got it to save to 12.
oh, you know what? I'm kind of wondering now. I'm going to do,
I went under options, under
Oh,
normal
darn.
text.
Oh, darn, I lost something here. Just a second. Oh, here we go. File, new. Remember how I said we might have to wait for it to save?
Yeah, mine didn't.
Let's see.
Did yours?
I'm going to check that right now. You know what?
You know what
I think
I
you have to
think
save it to the template, right? Or no?
no, go under normal text.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, set it to what you want it to be. You don't want it at 36, you
Oh,
want it at
no.
12.
Yeah.
Now go under normal text.
I also want it to be set at Calibri, okay. And then go under format.
Normal text. No, just normal
Oh, wait.
text. Oh,
Oh, that's
what did
right. Go here. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. And then you said go here.
No, don't do that. Go to options. At the
Oh, go
very
to
bottom.
options.
Yeah. And then
Oh,
that's not what Google, when we Googled it, that's not what it said, but that
mm-mm.
worked for me.
Save as my default styles, use my,
Yeah.
okay, so let's try that. And then I can do file, new. Oh, it's taking forever.
I know, it's kind of slow, isn't
There,
it?
you're right.
There it is.
There it
Yeah.
is. So, yeah, so for Google, what we have to do is say, let's see, to set the default font for new, what we have to do is go to, let's see, no, and then go to options here. Got to change that to options.
Yeah. Well, go to normal text and then go to options. Or options under normal text.
This is, oh, but this was in Word. Let me see,
Oh,
I'm gonna have to change that back. Okay, there we go. Did I put it down for,
I don't think we did because it didn't work.
yeah. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna come back to this and just put the directions after you leave. I'll put the directions
Okay.
for docs. I'll do that. Okay. Okay, so set the default, remove text formatting, copy text formatting. Okay, so got it. Okay. So applying is the strike through. Have you ever done, oh, it looks like the strike through might be there. Oh no, that's clear formatting. So this is like that little eraser. Remember how there was that eraser, clear formatting?
Yes.
There it is. Kind of Control X,
Okay.
Control Z to bring that back. Oh, but to copy the text formatting was actually our little roller. To remove,
Yeah, I know how to do that. Yeah.
and to remove the text formatting is this little,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and it looks like there's a shortcut there too. Control and then the backslash, and then the set default font for all new. Okay, so I'm gonna, we already got that figured out. I'll just write the directions down that. Okay. Oh, but now highlighting, do you ever highlight?
Yeah, I know how to do that.
Is that it right here? Probably, yeah. There you go. Okay. Okay, so it looks like there's just some things in red that we'll come back to next week. Apply the font style. This will be in part of our review. Automatic is usually blank, gives a preview. I should have put another color in there because, okay. Let's see, I'm gonna hit control. No, control.
Oh, yeah, where is that toggle case?
Oh, the toggle. Oh, what did I do? Oh, we wanted the one that would change the case. Yeah.
We can figure that out for next week because I know we both need to get going.
Yeah. Okay, so the toggle for the case, that's another thing I'm gonna put down here. Okay, so I have toggle case, freeze and auto fit. I'm gonna put in something. We're gonna, how to know which font type, open type or true type. We already did the clear formatting. I'm gonna see if there's any sort of history
Okay.
that we can find. And we already figured out how to get the default font to work. You figured it out. Good for you, because you work with Google Docs a lot more. That's great. So this is another thing I just wanted to show you too, just right before you leave. Here's that share. Now this document, I didn't share it with anybody, so it's not going to be a good example.
Well, do you want to just share it with me? Or I'm not in your...
Here, I'm just going to open one that I know that you and I are sharing. Lots of, I think this is the one that you and I are sharing. I probably should go back and share that other one with you too. I had to click and tell it to open with Google Docs. Okay.
Yeah, it always does that.
So do I just do that? Okay. It's still downloading it. Okay. I hope it's not going to make a liar out of me. There you go.
Oh, okay.
It's even saying now, and I think what maybe had to happen was maybe I had to save it a few times or something. It's even showing me that I'm the owner, that you're an editor, and I also made Sue Carter an editor. See, so I know I already sent you the email on these.
Okay.
Now, if I would have just copied the link and sent it to you, it wouldn't have put you in here until, until you went. I think you'd have to go in at least one time, and then Google would recognize that you were, because unless I send you an email, it doesn't know who I copied and sent a link to.
Right.
Yeah, but say you're not going to get any. We're not going to get any emails on this. But this is how we know that we sent an email. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it's good seeing you, Chris.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and once I upload this to YouTube, I'll let you know. And I do have a training manual that I started. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep updating it and put it in Dropbox, because you can get into Dropbox, can't you?
I think so, yeah.
Or would it be easier for me to put it on OneDrive? Because both of those are going to be like clouds.
Probably OneDrive would be easier, but...
OneDrive might really be good, and what I might do is I might bring some things in from that are in that chapter on OneDrive. I think it's chapter 11. It's kind of towards the end of the book, but then once we get there, we might say, oh yeah, we've been using OneDrive. We know everything now about that chapter. Okay, I think that'll be a good learning experience too, to put it on OneDrive. And then your OneDrive is available. I mean, you can see it in your File Explorer. Google servers you don't see on your
Okay.
but you will see the OneDrive. Okay. All right. You have a good week.
You too.
I'm so
Thanks
happy. Yeah, I'm so thankful that everything's working out for Matthew.
Me too.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you have a good week, and and anytime, just let me know during the week, Chris.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thanks a lot. See you next week.
See you next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Linda, it sounded like you had a good session.
Yeah, I think we did. Oh, now I need to hit escape.
So is she doing okay, and her son now, Linda? Her whole family?
I'm gonna have to first end this session.
Oh, sure.